Yes, hello. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to all of you for today's session. Students, just let me know whether you people can hear me well. Can you hear me well?
Yes,
All right, good. So, my name is Hamzah Siddique, and I have been teaching ACCA subject since last 16 years now. So today, the session is about advanced audit and assurance that is in front of you. So what will be the agenda of today's session? That will be the agenda of today's session will be here that we have introduction of the subject, and then we will be starting the chapter number 1, regulatory environment. So course orientation will be what we will be doing, how we will be moving throughout the course, and what are the things to be done, and by you, what are the things to be done by me during the course, means the mutual expectations and understanding development, how we will proceed through the course. Now, so before I proceed with the lecture and complete it, I want a brief introduction of you people as well. So what you will be explaining to me next. So what we are going to do in the next 2.5 hours, what we are going to do in the next 2.5 hours. The first of all, we are going to talk what the syllabus is. What the syllabus actually is. We are going to talk about. Okay, one more thing before I proceed. During the lecture, sometimes I'll be, engrossed and too much involved in delivering an explanation of the topic. If you think you are asking some question in the chat box and I'm not responding, open your mic, talk to me. Okay? You can interrupt me, no worries at all. Okay? So that will be a better way to communicate quickly if there is an issue. So, course orientation. So we will be talking about the syllabus, why people fail, how we will study. Then chapter 1 will be started, regulatory environment, and these things we will be talking about. Then is the practice question, past exam paper, Heron Company. It was tested on money laundering. We will be talking about it. We will be discussing the scenario, immediately. This is how we will proceed. Complete the topic, do the past exam question, how to write. Now, so then there might be a break if needed. I have added here, might be a break of 10 minutes. I may not take that instantly. Okay, that depends. Then the chapter laws and regulation topic. Then is the ethics will be started. Chapter number 2, professional and ethical considerations. Okay, I will wrap up, and that will be the end of today's lecture. So now we will be moving towards next. What this course is and what it is not. What this course is and what it is not. So students, it is a 17 weeks planned. 17 weeks planned walkthrough of every syllabus area. Not only that, taught through real past exam scenarios. Very important. It is not a reading services, not explanation of the topic, not just like the talk of the town, what is happening in the world, in the business world. It has nothing to do, which has nothing to do with this paper. Only the relevant things will be. So my focus will be, you need to pass the paper. So I have to stay focused, confined, concise. So I teach the technique. Okay, you build the marks by writing answers under exam conditions between the session. This is what you do. Now, so students, the naked truth. The naked truth. AAA is consistently one of the hardest ACCA papers because of the students, not because it is hard. That is also fact. Because students want to study it in their own way, the way they are studying the other subjects. Okay, now, and the reason is not that knowledge is hard. The examiner says student write generic things. Okay, so they do not talk about application. They do not, they do not draft answers the way we say. They do not do that. So, very important, very important. Most of the failing scripts, they are full of correct bookish knowledge, textbook knowledge. They are, but this is the problem. This is the problem. Now, so students, let us proceed further. I'm not reading it right now. You will read it yourself. Next. So where AAA sits? Audit and insurance is the base. Then SBR is knowledge is used. IFRSs. The knowledge of IFRS is of prime importance over here. Yes, and they are revised as well to some extent. I say 50 to 60% revision is done here. And let me tell you, if you do the past papers extensively, 8 to 10 scenarios ready to each topic, IFRS, what is needed for the exam, normally that is covered. Okay, now, so advanced audit and assurance, evaluate, judge, conclude. The same knowledge, but a higher expectation. What was here? Mechanics, procedure, the report, that knowledge more specific. Here, judgment. Okay, evaluation is there. Now, so students, let us proceed further. This is the syllabus. So regulatory environment we are doing today. We will be starting this section as well. We may not be able to complete it today. Okay. Then quality management, it is talking about advertising, appointment, quality of audit, then audit planning. You see here, and conducting. Materiality, risk means audit risk, business risk, and so on. Procedures, group audits, evidence, completion and reporting, completion and finalization of audit. Then other assignments are here. They are part of our syllabus. Current issues. Okay, this is, what is it? So students, what is it? It is not something dessert at the end of meal. No. It is not something extra to the syllabus. It is part and parcel of everything you learn and apply while answering the answer for each topic. when you learn how to draft answer on ethical issues in exam, and you keep, you actually start implementing all that properly, automatically professional marks are covered over there. You need not to add something new to that to earn and gain professional marks related to ethical issues. You need not to. Next. So exam format is here in front of you. 50 mark section A, one compulsory case study, always set at planning stage of audit. And the question is on business risk, risk of material misstatement. These are must almost. Sometimes business risk they leave, maybe 10-20% chance. And sometimes both are tested, maybe audit risk as well. So, and plus other areas. Predominantly syllabus area A to D. Previous slide. So 40 technical marks, 10 professional. Okay, 10 professional, which are actually related to how to draft answer. Section B, 2 questions, 25 marks each. And each 25 marks has 20 technical and 5 professional. One is always, focus, one question is always on this area. One question will always be on this area. Completion, review, and reporting. The other can be any area except that. So 3 or 15 minutes, 80 technical, 20 professional. Yes. So students, so now they have, here it is written how to solve the paper. I'm not going to talk about it. Okay, now the next is here. So section A is case study. I will be leaving it, not today's topic, what it is, so how to analyze it, the requirements, not topic for today, although included in it. Okay, yes, professional marks, 4 professional marks, they are part of section A, which can be, section A, 50 mark case study has 10 professional marks. And out of 10, these 4 marks, which are related to these, which are very easy to gain. I told you, these are earned as you walk through the technical marks, not in a separate paragraph. I told you. You cannot memorize these definitions, what communication is, what analysis evaluation is, what skepticism is, and you have to reproduce this definition. No, you have to demonstrate while writing answer. And that is easy. You will build this skill from tonight. From tonight. From this lecture, we will start talking about it. Start implementing it. Just like that, when a toddler starts to walk, you don't give a lecture to the toddler how to walk. You make them walk. You help them to walk. So they learn the process by themselves. Even they cannot describe what is how to walk. Right? So similarly, I will be making you work through the scenarios and you will be equipped with these skills if you follow my directions. If you follow my directions. Now, so why candidates fail this exam? Very important. First is generic answer. They do not build answer on scenario or very small discussion on scenario. And when they say I evaluate, they identify but do not evaluate. No explanation why it is a red flag. They don't justify what they are saying. They give a verdict, but don't justify. Don't give logic, how and why. They start explaining what self-review threat is, what a qualified report is. No, you are giving a qualified report here, justify why. You have not to tell what qualified report is. No. You have to tell why you are giving here, how you are giving here, what is the reason. Prove that. Okay, IFRS knowledge, if you are very weak IFRS knowledge, and again, that will remain weak if you don't practice enough AAA questions. Let me assure you, the way I told you, solve 10 exam questions on each area. I told you 5 or 6 core areas, 50 to 60 past exam questions. Solve in detail, spend time, it will be covered almost. Now, although it is not recommended, but my students, 2 or 3 cases I know, they passed, they attended class with me, AAA, they passed their paper, and they came, now we have to study SBR. I said, oh, really? You had no knowledge of SBR. You didn't attempt the paper, but you passed the paper. You attempted AAA and passed. So such examples are also there. The reason they learned the techniques to draft answer professionally, okay, and they equip themselves with the practice. That's it. Speculation. If you do speculation by yourself, you assume this might be the threat here, instead of talking about what actually present in the scenario. No marks. You misread the requirement. If you do not read the requirement and you are reading and you do not answer that requirement, you read the requirement, then you started reading the scenario. Scenario has information on multiple aspects. You have to focus what I have to answer, what is the requirement. Instead of writing on that, you find something interesting as per your own perception and interest, and you start writing on it. Because the question is on money laundering. The requirement is on money laundering. And in the scenario, a fraud scheme information is given as well, in addition to money laundering. So instead of writing on money laundering, you start discussing and deliberately, by force, trying to link that fraud with money laundering as well. By force. This happens because of the bias of the student. It happens. Now, so I told you. So whatever you do, you have to, every point, because whatever you are suggesting, you have to justify and critically think about it. That's it. So identification into evaluation, convert it, and analysis and skepticism covered. This is skepticism. This is analysis and evaluation. Now, we will be using it on all topics. Let us proceed. This is 17 weeks plan. In front of you. So today we are starting it with the regulatory environment, ethical issues as well. So that's in front of you. The whole syllabus is in front of you. This is tentative plan. Okay, these 2 areas, they are heart of your preparation. Although other as well. Why hard? Because risk of material misstatement, it becomes, again, the knowledge is utilized here as well. Very important. So, very important. Next, let us proceed further. How to study for AAA. So students, 45 minutes, grasp concepts, revise IFRS, memorize ethics, and whatever knowledge is. And you see here, you will be surprised. 45% is not, 45 minutes is for the knowledge. 90 minutes is for the practice under exam. 40 to 50 marks a day. Timer on, notes closed. Okay, not from this week, from the next week you can start, but must have to start. Very important. And 30 minutes, mark your own answer. Very important. I will be teaching you how marks are awarded. I will be telling you, sharing with you the examiner reports, that how examiner says marks are awarded. And you have to mark 30 minutes. Students, don't give this time to AAA and then say AAA is bulky. And people get failed here and they don't know. I am telling you why they failed. They spend 90 minutes on the knowledge, 30 minutes on practice, write half answers, and almost maximum 5 to 10 minutes on marking scheme. Maximum, if they do, otherwise, normally they don't do. That's the problem. Now, so screenshot it, please. This should be in front of you when you are preparing for AAA. This is the study structure from week 1. Now, the 4 rules that actually matter. The first rule, I ask students, I normally give assignment as well. From the week 2 or 3, you will be getting weekly assignment. What does student do? They read requirement, read scenario, then read answer. Then you write assignment. And I'm reading the answer and I'm smiling at them. That what is the benefit of this assignment? You are writing the way answer is written in the kit, in the past paper. When you will go in exam, you will not have any chance to read answer first. That will be blunder. And it has, it is two-edged sword actually. Two-edged sword, double-edged sword. That you are attending my classes, but you are not following my way of writing the answer. And when I read their answer, I say, oh my God, I spent hours and hours in teaching the framework that this should be the structure of answer, my way. And you are copy pasting from the kit, from the examiner answer, and you, without logic, without rationalizing it, without knowing it, that what should be written. That's the problem. Now, the next is, so attempt the question before you look at models, answer your notes. Very important. Just like the toddler, when starts to walk, they struggle. And that struggle is the process of learning. You people start struggling and immediately open the answer and start watching what is written there. So your learning immediately ended over there. So struggling is the learning. It teaches nothing to you when you read answer directly without struggle. When you will be start writing answer, it will happen on the first day, second day, third day. that you are very happy in the live class, you will be learning Mr. Hamzah is building answer very well, very easy. But when you will sit with yourself, what will happen? You will feel blank. Oh my God, I can't do it. Nothing is popping up in my mind. How to start it? But this, you have to be patient. You have to let your mind work over there, stay focused, and you will figure it out. If due to this anxiety and you are not ready to face this situation of uncertainty and instantly jump to the answer in the booklet, in the kit, your studies ended there. Now, compare, this is the important. Compare your answer with the model answer, scenario specific. Yes, this is very important. The scenario specific explanation. This is the syllabus of AAA. This is the syllabus of AAA. Remember that. So read published audit reports if you can. Okay. Right? That is something, your choice. Okay. Do timed questions on the exam platform before the exam. Not the time right now. Let us proceed further. Okay, course notes and workbook. That is, I'll be providing booklet. I have drafted my own answer of the questions as well. Okay, and I'm working to actually structure them, re-engineer them. No, not the right word. Redraft them. Okay, into a new booklet in a better way, and maybe available to you within few days. Okay, I may be giving those answers section by section. For example, answer on ethics, I'll be giving you next week or the, okay, and then the answer on the planning and risk assessment in 2 weeks, and so on. Okay, but that will be my written answer. Okay, sorry. So kit, the latest one, whatever it is, that will be provided to you. ACCA practice platform. It is a wonderful place to practice past papers. No cost at all. Examiner reports. Latest 3 examiner reports. But of course, the time will come. It will be just 1 month before the exam. You have to go through these reports to refine your approach. Okay, to confirm whether I have taught you everything or not. Okay, now, so you, again, your choice, go to website of IESB and again, WhatsApp and Facebook groups. I will create my own WhatsApp group, 1 or 2, depending upon situation. And I'll be adding you there for the quick learning, for the quick answer questions. Okay, now, so let us proceed further. Before we proceed, any question from your side? Anyone, any question, please, before we proceed?
Sorry, sir, I have one question.
Yeah, sure.
Regarding the recorded video after the lecture and the notes for Hamzah that you're going to provide, where do you upload it in the portal?
Where it will be uploaded? This is asking, you are asking?
Yes. I mean on the portal. Where do you upload it?
Yeah, where you access this, where did you have access of this Zoom link? Where did you find it? It was in the portal?
No. I had to join via the link that you sent me on WhatsApp.
Okay, right. So those students who have already enrolled and paid the fee, they may have been provided, or they will get it by tomorrow maximum. That how, I think they should have got it already. How to access resources within the portal. They have login and password. They will log in over there, open the course, everything will be there. Okay,
Okay.
right? It's like that. And these notes will be uploaded over there. Recorded session will also be normally within 24 hours. It is uploaded unless there is public holiday or some emergency. Okay, it is uploaded there. Now, let us proceed further. So this is the 2 days agenda. We are going to talk about these 3 topics in the chapter 1. Now, why does auditor needs to be regulated? Regulation of audit. What is the meaning of regulation? Regulation means monitoring, guidance, direction, control. Regulation. So the point is, why audit need to be audit profession? So the first of all is public interest. The most important, one of the most important factors. That audit report, which is prepared by auditor, that is utilized by so many stakeholders of the company. That is relied upon by current employees, current investors, future investors, lenders, stock market, government authorities, and so on. They all rely. So public has to be, they rely on audit report. So that's why audit report should be trustworthy. Auditor should be trustworthy because public is making decision based on their report. That's why auditor needs to be regulated. That's the reason. Okay, so public interest has to be protected. If auditor is not regulated, their report people are relying, they will be misled. Their decisions based on auditor will be wrong. Yes. The next is the same people saying credibility. I am audit professional. That is the requirement of prestige of my profession, that I want to be credible in the eye of everyone, my profession. So public independent oversight that makes this profession credible. So consistency and comparability. Auditing standards. Now we will be talking about today IAASB. So IAASB, what is IAASB? International Audit and Assurance Standard Board. In a few minutes we will be talking about it. So they have issued how audit is conducted, guidelines, the report formats. So comparability across different stock market, different economies. So this regulation is important. A person who is investing in Karachi Stock Exchange, now he wants to go and London Stock Exchange, the terminology, the rights and responsibilities of the auditor, expectation of the people, that should be comparable. Okay, so international comparability across different economies, stock exchanges. So auditors should be regulated internationally so that they can be relied upon. Their wording can be comparable. Okay, terminology can be, yes. Very important. A quality floor. What is floor? Minimum level of quality. So standards are decided. Rules are decided for audit so that a minimum level of quality everyone can expect. That this is the minimum level that should be there. And no one expects below that. Why? Because there are standard procedures of accountability and check and balance over audit. Again, the problem is public interest and public trust, not only interest. Now, So let us proceed further. So we are talking about the framework. So IFAC, International Federation of Accountants, a global body, ACCA is a member of it. ICAEW is a member of it. ICAP is a member of it. ICAI, CIMA, and more than 100 accountancy bodies of the world, they are member of IFAC. To promote harmony, consistency, convergence among the accountancy bodies. Okay? Among the finance professionals across the world, to promote the minimum benchmark of quality of auditors' work. So students, IFAC, it has a subcommittee, which is called IAASB. IASB, it's actually International Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. It issues the standards on auditing. We will be studying all these auditing standards in our syllabus, guidelines, step-by-step guidelines, how to conduct audit, different stages of audit. These are the guidelines. The next is IESBA, again subcommittee of IFAC, International Ethics Standard Board for Accountants. This actually codes of ethics, which is chapter 2 of our course as well. You started from the F1, business technology, which is called now. The first time you read ethics over there. So it is still here. So it has been issued by the Code of Ethics, IESBA, the subcommittee of IFAC. Then there is another subcommittee of IFAC. It has same color, purple, is it? Whatever it is. I'm bad at color, understanding and identifying the colors. Okay. So Public Interest Oversight Board. This actually, it oversees all of the IFAC's activities. It oversees the standard setting boards. It oversees IASB as well. It oversees IESB as well. It oversees maybe IASB, International Accounting Standard Board. So what is the role of PIOB? I told you, monitor the standard setting boards. And who will be the part of these boards? IASB is a board. Who will be the member of this board? So oversee the nomination process. Cooperates with the national authorities, national bodies in your country, in my country. There are oversight bodies by the government to monitor the professions. So it cooperates with them, coordinates to increase. What is the objective? To increase the confidence of investor and others that IFAC's public interest activities are actually protecting public interest. So the point is, profession is writing its own standards. That this is the minimum level of quality you can expect from us. We are watching, we have a watchdog on ourselves. We are self-regulating ourselves. So regulation. Okay, next. The next point is very important, very interesting. From international to national and to your desk, where you are working. So internationally, regulation is done by IFAC through this. No legal force. Then it is adopted by, the rules, financial reporting standards, auditing standards, corporate governance best practices, and so on. They are adopted, adapted, changed as per the situation by the national governments. Just UK example is given. Then licensing. Only the licensed people can practice who have license to practice. So in the UK, a recognized supervisory body, they can practice. ACCA, RSB. So registered means they are allowed to audit. And then firms own quality management. You see, all they are actually from the international to your desk. The firm then develops their own quality management system. And quality management is a topic in our syllabus as well. That how firm ensure that auditor complies with minimum standard of quality of audit work and ensure that is performed. Chapter 3 is here. Now, let us proceed further. Very important. Corporate governance, the concept of corporate governance, is an audit issue, not a footnote. So good governance of company. What is governance? Governance means how the company is being directed and controlled. The structure, the board, the accountability of board, role and subcommittees of the board. This is governance. All this is governance. Executive director, non-executive director, their remuneration, their accountability. Okay? How things are being collaborated, coordinated, reported. This is all governance. So an independent board challenge management's judgment before you have to. Auditor has to check number of things related to financial statement ultimately. If the board is independent, if an accountability system is there, good. So they will fix everything. If the board has audit committee of non-executive directors and that non-committee deals with auditor, define their scope, decide their fee, assist them during audit, so independence of auditor is approved. If controls and internal audit, they are being managed, being supervised by some independent party like audit committee. Instead of finance director, who is running the company, finance directors are running the company. They are involved in operation. If they are responsible for controls over themselves, so it means they may manipulate things. So there should be independent party who should be responsible to ensure control and ensure effective internal audit. If it is there, half task of auditor is done. Now, a culture opposed to fraud. Again, top management commitment of those charged with governance. It decides the tone of the organization. It decides. Okay, within the culture in the organization, what is acceptable, what is not. What is the norm in the organization? It is decided by the culture set by those charged with governance. Now, the next is weak governance is a risk factor. Yes. Just see here. When there is no proper governance, no accountability, no challenging of decisions, no evaluation of decisions, no control, what will happen? What will happen? Organization will not be sustainable. Controls will be bypassed. People will not be being monitored properly. And ultimately, organization, there will be reduced accountability. Owner manage, yeah, it happens. We call it in Pakistan Seth culture. There's the one person, that is the right of the words of that person are rule. And today's words are different from the yesterday's words. Today's rules are, they themselves don't actually, they mess up with the system designed by themselves. So ultimately, all the employees, all the organization is in chaos all the time. They say we have to do the buttering and flattering of the boss only. Because there is no other way, no system of performance assessment and improvement, no ethical consideration. This happens. So ultimately, decisions are, strategic decisions are wrong, poor. Now, so students, so these are the risks attached with the poorly governed organization, which is ultimately setting the environment and context for audit as well. Now, next, audit committee. So that's a part of the governance, which is directly related to auditor. So audit committee is a shield of auditor. Shield against what? Directors who are managing the company. That is a shield against any ethical threats. So if audit, I have already explained, if audit committee appoints you, set your fee, approve your non-audit work, the finance director or any other director, managing director, or CEO, they cannot threaten you. They cannot jeopardize they cannot damage your independence, objectivity, because audit committee is there. Now, if you remove it, add executives, so hence self-interest threat, intimidation. Yes. Students, so absence of audit, so in any scenario, absence of audit committee, effective audit committee is always worth a point. Yes, but how to discuss it? So this context has been there depending upon the requirement. Now, so what are the duties of audit committee? Normally, so they actually cooperates, coordinates with external auditor. Okay, nominate auditor, determine their fee. What is the scope of work, area of work? Yes, if auditor has to provide, audit firm, safe firm has to provide multiple services. So they approve what services they will provide and how. They monitor independence and effectiveness of internal and external audit. They review, okay, independent channel for internal audit as well. Independent reporting for internal audit as well. If some fraud occurred in the company, investigation is done by internal audit or maximum by audit committee. Very important. Audit committee is a bridge between two parties, directors and auditor. So they connect, they communicate through audit committee preferably. That is a bridge. Auditor's reservation regarding management and directors of auditor has, they communicate to audit committee that your directors are listening to us. They are not listening to us. Speak in your language. Make them understand what we want and why we want. Okay, make them work. So audit committee has to do it. Now, obtain the information. Oh, yes. So if some information is not available for audit, management is not cooperating, directors are not cooperating. It is audit committee that make it sure auditor gets whatever is necessary for the audit. Now, so this slide you will read yourself, because when auditor performs their task, ultimately, the same benefits are there. I have already covered in the need for audit and governance. These are already covered. Okay, the next topic is money laundering. Before I proceed, any question? Before I proceed, any question? Okay, money laundering. What is money laundering? Money laundering is the process to turn black money into white money. Proceeds of crime into my legitimate assets and investments. That is the whole, all the steps, facilities, facilitations, people, assistance, advices, tipping off, whatever is in between. Everything is money laundering. But let us learn a plain process of money laundering first. Then we will talk about offenses. So, money laundering starts, it has 3 steps of process: placement, layering, and integration. Placement, when it means walking in, that it is the first step where illegal money, dirty money enters into the what? Legal system. First time entry. So what can be the, okay, a person received bribe, right? Maybe legal in some country. I don't know where it is. I heard a few days back. I might be wrong. Okay. So for example, a person collected bribe for doing a favor in the government department, and then he goes and deposits that money into the bank. This is the first stage, the first step, the illegal money entering the legal system. That is called placement. There are so many. So cash is banked. This is the simplest example, but practically money launderers, they are very intelligent people. They don't do money laundering in this simple way. Okay? So they do money laundering in 2, 3 example I will be giving you. The one thing is, for example, a person who has 20 employees in his bank. 20 employees in his organization. Each is getting annual salary of, for example, $20,000. So how much it is? $400,000. Annual expense. The salary being paid to all staff annually. What does he do? He says, okay, listen, I will be showing only 10 employees in the accounts. 10 employees, I will be paying cash, which I'm collecting from selling drugs, okay, or some other illegal activity, human trafficking, etc. So that $200,000 expenditure, which I am making actually, but I'm not showing, so my profit will increase. Legal profit of my business will increase by 200,000, and that 200,000 will become my legal money. might increase profit. Another way. But this is expense not shown. The other way is inflating revenues. That I'm selling product and I sell product at a price of, for example, the price is $70. An annual sale is 1 million units. This is the actual price I'm charging to the customers on my cash till. At the counter, people are paying $70 and taking the unit. But my accounting system is recording $100 sale price. So this $30 per unit into 1 million unit annual. How much? $30 million. I actually injected it from my illegal money in the business, making my profit high. Actual sale was at 70, but I showed at 100. The difference is placement. So cash intensive businesses are ideal for this. Bars, restaurants, casinos as well, ticket sales, cash intensive, ideal environment for money laundering. So once money is entered into the, but now the governments are increasing and has extensively increased checks as well. They have promoted the digital money. Scan the barcode and transfer. Government is giving incentives. In my country, they're offering buy through card, this % discount. But if you buy cash, you have to pay full. Around 10 to 15% discount is there if you pay by card or by app. So discouraging, practical, active, I'm discussing that as well. So layering. So passing the money, once money is entered into legal system, now confuse the system. Confuse the regulators. Make so many transactions unusual, non-traceable, so many, multiple, repeated, below the monitoring threshold of the finance authority. So many transactions that things get messed up. Transfer from one account to the other, from the second to the third to the first. Withdraw, deposit, draw, deposit. To create a mess. Or send overseas. Bring the international funds back in the form of, and say, I am the savior of the nation. I am bringing back the what? Foreign currency. I'm increasing the reserves of the nation. That's why vote me in the next election. Okay? Right. So international transfers. So layering is done. And then becomes integration. Once this task is complete, now they buy private jets, islands, expensive, investments, restaurants, okay? Yachts, luxury cars, or they repay their loans. They invest in the stock market. Now in legal money. This is called integration. So reintroducing the laundered cash into legitimate economy. That is called integration. So 3 stages of money laundering. Now, the next is yes. Let us proceed further. Here we are. So anti-money laundering program. What that is? What are the basics? There should be, first of all, appoint an MLRO in the organization. So appropriate level of experience. Who is MLRO? Money Laundering Reporting Officer. So Money Laundering Reporting Officer, the one who actually ensures money laundering, anti-money laundering program, what that is, what are relevant laws and regulations, what are the compliances to make. So what are the reports to be generated? What is the information to be established? What is the record to be kept? They do. So that is appointed, who leads all this process. Now, yes, record keeping. Okay, sorry, come here first of all. Customer due diligence. The second point. So whenever you are engaged with any client, so get information about them. Their identity, their transaction, their relationship. You go to the bank. Let me give you an example of bank. You want to open a bank account. What they ask you? They have a form. Then the list of documentation, utility bill, letter from the employer, your identity card. They demand. They sometimes ask you to scan your biometric as well. What is it? They ask you, okay, you are doing a job, bring a letter. How much salary you get? What is the employer? Who is the employer? So source of funds. Where are you earning? Legal way or illegal way? So whenever you engage with a client, you have to perform customer due diligence. And you should have, your organization should have internal reporting channels. That there should be standard procedure defined, reporting lines, who to report, in what format. If I get some suspicion, I am on my desk, I'm dealing with a situation where I feel like there is money laundering involved. Who to report? How to report? Everything should be established. Okay? So all the suspicion should be reported suspicion. Remember, all the suspicion should be reported to MLRO. And delay, if you delay it, it is an offense. Yes, it is also an offense. That if being an auditor and accountant, you do not report suspicion of money laundering timely, it is offense by law. Record keeping. Maintain the record of the customer. Okay? Supporting evidence for 5 years after the transaction. 5-year record. That's why even tax authorities, they can demand, in my country, previous 5-year record. You have to produce. They can ask for the explanation. So, training, very important. In your organization, you have to train your employees how to recognize suspicious circumstances related to money laundering. You have to train your staff, update them through courses, through conferences, through webinar, whatever it is. Okay? But they must be trained to recognize, to be able to report to the right person. And ongoing, yes. Once you have implemented all the system, and this stands true for all systems of the world, you made rules, but you are not monitoring them. People will find ways to bypass, or they will not actually stay important for the people actually. Okay, now, so students, very important, very interesting. What goes in the internal report to MLR? An employee in the company, I am sitting on my desk. I find something suspicious over here about some transactions. I will report to MLR. The name of the suspect, amount involved, why I am suspicious. And I must have evidence where possible. Yes. And how the cash is laundered, whereabouts. So this all will be reported. MLRO will consider all the circumstances, will make a file, document the process, and decide whether to export a report externally. Now, what is meant by externally? To the authorities. So the firm has a legal duty to report even though this conflict with the auditor duty of conduct. Yes, very important. Audit firm, confidentiality principle of ethics. That auditor has to keep the information of client confidential, should not disclose. But if there is suspicion of money laundering, it is obligatory disclosure, must to be disclosed. Even it is breach of confidence, you have to disclose. Otherwise, you will be guilty of offense under money laundering. Now, customer due diligence further explained. We said that in the previous slide that they should perform customer due diligence. I have explained a bit. Now, the next is further. Whether client is individual person, a human being, or it is a company, a partnership, a limited liability company, whoever they are. So, now, 6 things must be established. The first is who the client is, their identity. If that is individual, their identity card, driving license. If that is a company, their incorporation certificate, who they are. Who controls it? If it is a company, who are the shareholders? If it is a partnership, who are the partners? Yes, what they are doing, what is the purpose, actual purpose of the business? That may be a sham structure of the business being shown, and under the cover of that, something different going on. That's the possibility. What is their business? What type of business they are doing? And critical analysis of that. What are source of fund? This is what I have already explained. And, economic purpose of the business. Sometimes money launderers, they have their business being shown, offices established. Apparently, when you dig in deep, there is no sale, no customer visiting them, no communication with the supplier. But the business is making profit in the books because the business is making profit through money laundering. Money is being converted from the illegal money to the legal money. It happens. Now, so evidence you need to obtain for a normal risk individual, a photographic driving license or passport, utility bill. An entity, this need to be memorized. These things have been tested in the past paper. Once, I think. Normal risk of entity, incorporation, the registered address, shareholders, directors, details, identity of all directors, and any shareholder with more than 25% shares who is beneficial owner, who is not the client. Ultimately, who is the owner? So this needs to be, yes, verified. So customer due diligence, very important. Where there is a high risk, more information to be obtained. Simple is that. It is risk-based. Nature of the client and risk involved. Where risk appears high, increase the information, get more and more details. Okay, so then KYC, know your client. KYC or CDD has same meaning. Know your client or customer due diligence. You can note down. KYC means know your client. It is customer CDD has the same meaning, customer due diligence. So it let the auditor spot unusual business activity fast. It is skill to be developed. What is unusual business activity? You have to recognize a suspicious transaction. What is not normal over there? First of all, you should know what is normal and what is suspicion. And again, this has to be developed through training, development, information. Okay? Webinars, courses, learning, practice. All this actually establish this attitude and this perception. Now, so students, I will be taking a 5 minutes break. In 5 minutes break, I'll be back and I will continue. Okay, 5 minutes break. Yes, students, now. I hope all of you are back. That if they have accepted a client and they have given you the information, what are the problems related to money laundering related procedures. Okay, now, so students, actually this a few things which are related to money laundering over here. The point is, there is a form which is filled, standardized form on the related to client information that needs to be filled. So when a conclusion is given on a form, it must be supported by evidence, not just box ticking exercise. Okay, this obtained, this, where is the evidence? Is there supporting evidence attached to the form about information? And whether due diligence was standard, simplified, or enhanced, and why? Which one has been obtained? Standard due diligence procedure adopted or enhanced? What was the reason? It should be mentioned. Who is the beneficial owner? Sometime, in my country, a few years back, I think 1 decade, the chef, who was the chef at, the kitchen of a politician, his bank account was doing the transaction of billions. So what is this case? Who is the beneficial owner? And there is a lot of property in the name of the driver. Okay? So what is it? Who is the beneficial owner? So if the transactions are taking place, who is the beneficial owner? Who's the person? Now that should be identified. If not identified, an identity of shareholders of company, directors of company, that must be verified. Now, no source of wealth clear. What they are earning and how they are earning, not clear. In the form, not mentioned. Now, money laundering risk assessment, that is brief. Even there are cash intensive business, complicated structure of the company, but the assessment is not done, not evaluation not done. Unexplained transactions not identified. High risk transaction not identified. Okay? Yes. So this is basically done on the acceptance of all clients. Clients' integrity, firm's own competence, capability. So, this is capability of the audit firm, capability of the team, available time, available team. If that is not available, you cannot do customer due diligence. You cannot check things properly in detail. It will be a problem. You do not, audit acceptance, I will teach you when the topic will come. And there we say, obtain reference of the client from their bank, from their supplier, from other people. Verify about them. So if reference is not obtained, not verified, that is a red flag. It means customer due diligence not complete. We are going to audit this company. They are going to appoint us. Previous auditor resigned, left this company. Why they left? And it is a responsibility of incoming auditor to obtain professional clearance from the previous auditor. Review issues and try to review their audit file if available. If it is not obtained, what is professional clearance? It means that are there any, you have to write to the previous auditor, outgoing auditor, that what are the reasons why you are leaving? Are there any genuine reasons because of which we should not accept this audit as well? Okay, so if they have not obtained it, it is a problem. So you have to write what is missing if tested in exam. What should be there and why it should be there. You have to criticize, this is missing, this can go wrong, this should be there. Explain what is missing, what will be the consequences, and what should be there. Proper explanation. Okay, now let us proceed further. Indicators of money laundering. What are the indicators? Students, if the business is cash intensive, they are dealing in cash. Excessive use of wire transaction, not normal. Now, what is excessive? That depends upon judgment. A pattern that they deposit in the cash and immediately they send it to someone else. Deposit in the bank, immediately send to someone else. Cash transaction, bearer instrument, open check, which need not to be transferred into the bank. That is the whoever is bearing that person can get the cash without identification. Now the bank have imposed restriction on it as well. The person who is drawing the cash through an open check, they bank demand normally identity card copy and they attach with that check. This person has drawn and ask them to sign it as well. So things have been improving. So repeated deposits or withdrawals just below the monitoring threshold. What is it? The deposit and withdrawal. Deposit, withdrawal. Monitoring threshold, that the central bank of the country, normally they have threshold that transactions of this amount will be automatically detected for monitoring. Highlighted. For example, that amount is 1 million. So they are doing transaction of 990,000, just below, to avoid that threshold. There is no disclosure information available in the company's record why transaction was processed. What is the purpose? And they are not disclosing it either. You ask them, being auditor, why this transaction was done? What is the purpose? They are reluctant. They become aggressive. They don't respond. An overly complex system, deliberately designed. Sometimes they do that by design, that things become messed up. Uncertainty over where the cash is coming from. No explanation. No clear explanation. Yes. Overseas accounts with no commercial rationale. Their business doesn't need that accounts. They themselves don't need, apparently no reason. But still they have international bank accounts. They have money coming and going over there. That's a problem. Owner managed, owner of the business, personally intervening the operations and accounting especially, posting and processing of transaction, bypassing the control. So red flags. Now in exam, they ask you, for example, they say, explain the implications of the matters described in the scenario. So you identify sales are cash-based. Companies' sales are 75% cash-based. You are explaining there is a potential indicator of money laundering. Being cash-based sales are harder to trace. Still not full mark. So exam answer level explanation. So harder to trace, you will write it. And keep on going explanation. This means now, you see, additional cash can be introduced alongside genuine sales. This would represent the placement stage of money laundering. You see how to keep explanation. This plus this become a wonderful. I told you because, and so what will be the conclusion and how? Very important. Same fact, but the answer will be here. Now, criminal offense related to money laundering. Now, money laundering. We have spent good time today, right? Okay. So the offense. What is the crime? Possessing, dealing with, concealing the proceeds of any crime. One of my school buddy, this is the real story I'm going to tell. One of his customer, he deals in gold, actually jewelry. He has his own business of the gold jewelry. One of the regular customer came one day, he say, a person will come to you and hand over to you around $15,000. Take from that person, I will collect you. Okay, right? So a person came, handed over $15,000 and went. The next day, the customer came, picked the cash, and the matter is over. But after 3 months, all of a sudden, the security agencies come and arrest my that friend, schoolmate, classmate, ex-classmate. Okay, that got arrested. And later on, it discovered actually that 15,000 was the proceed of a crime. And the person got arrested who handed over cash to this person actually. To my friend, who came and handed over the cash to my friend. So that person got arrested for a crime, and he said, I gave $15,000 to that jewelry shop owner. He said, no, it was with me because my customer said, collect and I will come to you and to pick that up. So we have to be very much careful. So he had to face the law. Later on, he got, cleared, but ultimately, you see the problem. So that proceed of crime, attempting, assisting, and inciting in any way, inciting money laundering, failure. Now, this is for you and me. And this is for you and me, these three. Failure by an individual in the regulated sector to report a suspicion of money laundering. We were auditing, we were working, we got suspicion this person is involved in the money laundering. We didn't report that timely. Later on, it discovered by investigation, by authorities that Mr. Hamzah had the suspicion but didn't disclose. I will be tried as well. God forbid. Now, the next is tipping off. Now, I know my client is involved in the suspicious activities, or my friend is involved. I give them advice. Beware. You might be investigated. Find ways to, or I am auditing a company. The client's activities are suspicious. I do so much questioning about the transaction to them. They get tipped off. Oh my God, we are caught by the auditor. So I have to be careful. I have not to tip off by directly or indirectly. Tipping off is making them alert that you are exposed. So tipping off, it will produce the investigation. It is again crime. Yes. if you feel like if you falsify, conceal, or destroy the document related to money laundering. This is what people do normally when they get idea. Oh, we are going to court to be caught. They do that, and again it is crime. Now, the students, listen. Very important point. Very, very important point. The classic candidate error. And what examiners say? The examiners, in the exam question, they say implications of this matter. And there is money laundering information. So candidates say they identify money laundering risk, correctly say it must be reported to MLRO, correctly say need to avoid tipping off, and then what they do? They tip off themselves. Means you have just not to recommend. This should be done. Rather, you have to avoid that as well. And then in the next sentence, they say the firm should resign immediately and inform to those charged. This is blunder. You are tipping off by yourself by resigning. Okay, right? So examiner says, do not do this. You cannot resign immediately. Okay? Now, because of that you get them idea, I'm resigning because of this issue. It is directly tip off. Now, so what they should do? So they should report to MLRO. MLRO report to the authority. Protects the accountant from criminal and civil liability, including any claim for confidentiality breach. You reported MLRO, MLRO report authority. Now you are safe from your criminal duty, criminal liability of money laundering. And second, you are safe from breach of confidentiality as well. Now, so tipping off can be defended against if the person did not know or suspect that disclosure was likely to prejudice. Yes. If you can defend that I talked this thing to the client, I didn't have idea they will get tipped off. So the safe path is always the same. Report internally within the organization, document everything, say nothing to client. Very important. Whenever you have to resign, first take legal advice. What the law say, what the lawyer say. If they say the client will be tipped off, do not resign immediately. Follow the procedure what the lawyer guide. This is the safe passage of resigning or leaving the situation. Now, the next is the question Heron Company. Past exam question. Students, you have to read it twice. Please read the whole scenario. Be quick. Yes. Have you gone through it? Tell me. So discuss the implication of the circumstances described in the audit senior's note. Explain the nature of any reporting that should take place by the audit senior. So 9 marks, 22 minutes. Okay. 2.4 minute per mark. Okay. Because it is 80 marks. Your paper is total 80 technical marks. With how many minutes? 195 minutes. So it is 2.4 minutes per mark. You see here, no textbook or model answer at all. You have not to write that. So you plan before you write. So the point is, what is the problem? What must be told, what must not be told? What are the facts telling in the scenario? We need to identify that. So in exam, you will be right in the paragraphic form. I have basically distributed the scenario. So Jack Heron might be using the company to carry out money laundering. The process by which money criminal conceal the origin and ownership of money. His business is cash-based, making an ideal environment for cash acquired through illegal activities to be legitimized by adding to its cash paid by genuine customer and posting it through the accounts. So now, up till now, it was, what is it? Up till now, it was generic, without evidence. But now, the point is linkages. You see the linkage. Sorry, just a minute, please. Come here. Yes. It appears 2 million. Now, this is evidence. We are giving the logic from scenario of what we have said before. And this introduction is called placement. This is called analysis and evaluation. You are declaring something that this is money laundering, ideal environment. How? By adding the proceeds from crime to the genuine cash received from customer. But then you say, yes, here 2 million is going. It is 3. You know that. Where is the 2 million? Come to the scenario. We said that cash paid till receipt showed cash paid by customer is 3.5 million. While recognized is 5.5 million in fund statements and entirely cash based. This is what we have developed a point from it. Now, the answer is here. The owner posts the journals. The fact that owner himself, so this is the flags from the scenario. We have to find out. The fact that owner himself posts transactions relating to revenue and cash is strange and raises suspicions to their legitimacy. Suspicions are heightened by his refusal to explain that. Scenario. Information. then transfer to the international. They said in the scenario that notice a payment of 2 million to an overseas financial institution. It was authorized by Jack Heron, no documentation. So this is the, now how to, yes, see, it is the same amount, 2 million, additional cash posted, which we referred above. This indicates cash is being laundered. The transfer is layering stage. You are not writing the definition of layering. You are not writing the definition of placement. Rather, you are recognizing it. You are recognizing and from the scenario and justifying it. Now, disguising source ownership through complex layers, launderers, they do normally, making tracing harder. And then they, after successful completion, they may bring back. So 5 distinct, because it was 5 scenario specific points. You have to pick. 4 we have already done. Even if you do not write, no, but I prefer not to be written the first one. That's wonderful. Start with the placement. You have not to give heading. You have not to give headings in the paragraphs. You have to write. So I have given heading just to show you what is being identified. Now, so thus there is no information, no documentation related to transaction available. Secrecy, the lack of the further indication this has been a transaction. Now, the next, alarmed by the size of transaction and the lack of evidence to support it, I questioned Jack Heron, asking him about the cash receipts and the reason for the electronic transfer. He would not give any answer and became aggressive. Now, you see here his behavior. Being questioned point to something to hide his reaction. Behavior is lacking integrity. Even if it is a genuine transaction, aggressive attitude casts doubts. He is hiding something. Now, 5 points identified, explained. Your answer is done for 5 marks. If 6 marks, 6 points properly. That's 6 points. They may have tipped off because he became aggressive. By questioning, they may have tipped off. Real risk. Okay? Now, the audit is now a high risk audit. Highly material. It is high risk engagement and high implications for audit. This was a requirement. Now, withdrawal is a trap. The firm may wish to withdraw it if permitted by law, but this could be tipping off. Because when you have to withdraw, you have to tell the reason to directors. If they stay, the opinion must be considered very carefully. The whole audit subject to second partner review, and very important, whether to stay or not. You have not to write everything what we discussed. This is the beauty of AAA. And this is where students do mistake. 6 valid points, discuss properly, 6 marks gained, leave the rest story over there. Move on. You are not obliged to discuss every point there. Students, they say, it is not still complete. No, it is complete if 6 points you have identified from scenario discussed as implication. Please. Now, so who there should report? The audit senior should report internal report to Lark and Company's MLRO. It is 3 marks. So who is MLRO? Okay, he will evaluate the report within the firm and ask further queries if necessary, before reporting externally. Okay, they should report it as soon as possible, as delaying is a offense. What is the part of the report? The name of the suspect, Heron, amount involved, the reason for suspicion, whereabouts of the laundered cash, overseas financial institution. So they have report, document, MLRO consider all the circumstances, document the process and decide whether to do. So again, this is more than required. You write only 1, 2, and 3. Enough. Even this detail is not required in the exam. I have just explained it for you people. 3 marks. Now he said, listen, money laundering should be reported to the management. It will blunder. And we have such naive student. Naive? What the word is? Yes. Include in the audit report, blunder. Here, it is not a technical slip. This is breach of law. So they say, then students say, we don't know why we failed advanced audits. They say like that. They behave innocent. You are not innocent. You are guilty. Who are doing such mistakes? Okay? Now, so 6 marks, 1 mark each, 1 point mark each, 9 points are available, 9 marks are available. Okay, so you have to, there are more available. You have to select which 9, 3 here and 6 points here. But remember, you have not to give headings the way I gave. That was just analysis done for you people. You might be thinking, Mr. Hamzah has given in the heading and the table, so we will be giving. Please do not do that. So we have to write in the discussion form in the paragraph. 1 point in 2-3 lines, then the next paragraph, next point. Then the next paragraph, in the next point, like that. Okay? Now, students, we have 25 minutes and we will not end the lecture here. So, yes, laws and regulations. And compliance of clients, the company we are auditing, their compliance with laws and regulations. Who has the responsibility to ensure compliance? Who has the responsibility to introduce a system to make sure the company complies with all laws and regulations? It is the management, directors, not the auditors. Directors have to implement a system of compliance to identify any non-compliance and rectify that. The auditor, when it comes the turn of auditor will be only concerned when non-compliance is affecting financial statements or it is affecting the going concern. So auditor is responsible only when non-compliance is affecting the financial statement or it is affecting the going concern of company. Again, when it is affecting the going concern, ultimately it is affecting financial statement as well. So auditor is not a compliance policeman that I have to check everything is complied or not. No, not at all, please. Yes, auditor is not indifferent even. So he has to keep his eyes open that which non-compliance may affect financial statements, which I have to audit, or which non-compliance may affect the going concern. And going concern is ultimately financial statement preparation is affected by that. We know that. Now, so ISA 315, we will talk about when the time will come. For the timing, you can read it. I'm not going to read it. Okay? Now, so when non-compliance is identified or suspected, what auditor has to do? Or feels like that, or get information, this company has non-compliant with any laws and regulation. Auditor will obtain information. What is non-compliant? Which laws and regulation? What are the circumstances? And its impact on financial statement. Very important, because we are concerned about it. We are not concerned about any other aspect of compliance. We are concerned about financial statement and going concern. We will understand for the same reason. Gather evidence. Ask management how it happened. Or it is a systematic process of non-compliance. Non-compliance happened by chance, by error, by loophole, or there is a scheme for it. Discuss with the legal advisor of the company. Likely fine, likely impact. Then assess in the light of that fine and exposure to the litigation, what will be the provisions to be recorded for fine, for legal fee? What disclosure need to be given? What is materiality? Very important, a non-compliance can be material by nature even. Amount involved very small. Sometimes they are material by nature. And again, that depends upon judgment. Materiality topic will come, I will talk about it. So communicate discuss with management, those charged with governance, and document. Discuss the matter, whatever discuss, document. And if it is a group of company, the group, parent company and subsidiary company. So talk to the group management. Report externally, whether you need to report. Now, depends whether law requires that auditor has to report that non-compliance to authorities. Auditor need to obtain legal advice. They have to check. Withdraw engagement. When management has a systematic way of non-compliance or casual attitude with compliance, that is a matter of integrity of management. So auditor can discuss with management and withdraw. Okay, now next. So Winberry question, there is a, the requirement is discuss the auditor's responsibility in relation to client's compliance with laws and regulation. And this is a past paper question by the Winberry. Okay, the Winberry company appears to be in breach of relevant laws and regulation regarding the protection of customer data. So this looks like pure knowledge, but it is not. Okay, so it is not. Generic knowledge score may score some marks, but no full marks. So you have to apply procedures. First of all, so you have to start that what is management responsibility? And now then shift from that in one line. Management has to comply. Now auditor's responsibility, we have to explain. General, what we have studied. Then auditor must understand the Data Protection Act, that law. They have to apply the procedure how a breach occurred. Apply to that situation. What type of data leakage is? Financial or non-financial? What type of it is? What they have to discuss with the lawyer. That if it is a financial data, credit card or something like that, what is the likely damage? What is the loss to the customer? What is the penalties to be paid? That may be severe, that need to be assessed. Now you see how scenario specific discussion. If non-compliance is related to employment law, your discussion will be according to those points which are given in the scenario related to labor law, employment law, and fine penalties. Got it? So this is, you have to write on scenario. Reproducing only knowledge won't give you much. And you know, the student who fail at 40, 41, 42, they are actually lacking here. So again, reporting. Reporting is almost the same. So you can mention here, is there any consumer, department, the government department, which need to be reported, but consult who? Legal advice first, then report. Now, recap. What you owe me in the next class. This all. Take screenshot. You must have good command, grasp everything, whatever I have covered today. So once you have done it, in the next class, I will be starting this. Okay, I am ending class today. I'm not starting the code of ethics today. In the next class, the code of ethics is the topic. Before I end the class, if there is any question, please ask. Yes, please. Anyone, any question, please? No question at all? At least write, everything is okay, everything is fine, no question.
No question, sir.
Okay, good. I think, yeah, there is a question typed here. All good. Thank you. All good. All is well. All is well. Okay. All right. Thank you for joining for today's session. And we will be meeting in the next class. So please prepare very well. I will be uploading the slides latest by tomorrow. Okay. Take care. Goodbye.